Action in 3, 2, 1, go.
The Cheyenne Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to The Cheyenne Show. I'm here with my friends down here in Montreal, Quebec, with my friends Liam and Charles Orosz.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm happy you guys are here. You know, we're gonna get into some stories. We just did Liam's podcast. You know, it's a nice little form you got there, like the 30 minutes. Different segments and stuff. We're gonna do a little bit, a little more loose here, and we'll see where the conversations go. We'll hear some opinions, and that's basically it.
Cool.
Have you guys heard about what happened with the Hunter Biden story that just came out?
No, you keep talking about it, but we still don't know what happened.
Basically, Hunter Biden's laptop, a couple months ago, it was leaked. Everybody saw that. The New York Post made a huge story about it, that, there's a bunch of things that were leaked off Hunter Biden's laptop, which connected him to, a lab in Ukraine, a bunch of explicit photos, things that were just, inappropriate or corrupt, whatever you want to call it. And the story was kind of swept under the rug. No one really acknowledged it. Instead, they tried to say he was a beautiful artist. He's making art, beautiful art. He was going down to LA, and people were coming over and they're buying his art for, I think, like $500,000 a piece. It's unbelievable. And the art, to be fair, it's not bad. He's a troubled figure. He's had his run-ins with drugs and, people that could create creativity for some people. So he's managed to make $500,000 off a piece from his creativity and drug use. But just last night, Sunday night, there was a huge leak on iCloud. I think some people from 4chan or something found everything from his iCloud. They leaked it, and there's a couple different bombshells into this. So we're going to take a look at some of the things we found.
Yeah, what did they find? What's the bombshell?
Well, the biggest thing...
You've been teasing me since before. What is it?
Yeah, I want to know.
Show me the money.
We're going to take a look on Twitter. But the biggest thing about this is, there's been a lot of talk of Joe Biden himself and just the Democratic Party and some of the high up elites there. You've always heard about Jeffrey Epstein's Island being, pedophiles. But they hide this stuff. They don't want people to hear about it. They want it to be, the media doesn't want to hear. And so what's happened is Hunter Biden had Joe Biden's name in his phone as Pedo Pete. I think it was Pedo Pete, and it was actually trending on Twitter.
I find that super hard to even if he was a pedophile, and I'm not
Pedo Peter.
Pedo Peter.
Who is reporting this? Who's reporting this? Who is that?
No one's reporting this. There's no. This is just on Twitter.
Oh, okay, but that means that doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Well, let's say this. Let's say he is a pedophile. Okay.
Biden. We're talking about Biden.
Yeah, let's pretend just for a second. Why would his son put his contact as Pedo Pete? Why would he do that?
Well, why would his son do a lot of things on his phone?
He's selling out his dad.
We're gonna take the fact is, I didn't really get this information from any particular news source. I got it from the Tim Dillon subreddit on Reddit. We're gonna take a look at it there, but so it's been spamming over there.
Does this mean Tim Dillon has approved it?
No, this is like Tim Dillon's. This is from the leak last night.
Are they playing Biggie Smalls?
Yeah, they put this song on top just to show this is what he's a G. So a lot of people are commending Hunter Biden for being kind of like a Chad, a G.
But those are prostitutes, I thought.
These are prostitutes. These are prostitutes. Listen. In this video, you're seeing Hunter Biden smoking crack, hanging out with prostitutes, getting, doing some different things there. But
he looks like a cracked out version of
Joe Biden.
Yeah, I guess Joe Biden. But
this video doesn't really tell you.
I mean, nothing in here is illegal.
Jordan Peterson.
None of this is illegal.
Doesn't he kind of look like Jordan Peterson?
Doing crack is illegal.
Doing crack, yes.
Yeah, I guess so. But so, I mean, he's a screw up, you know. This is what happens when you give your children too much money and they never have to work. This is what they become, right?
But it's not that he doesn't have to work, because the guy does, you know,
Yeah,
he's
he
on
does art. He
boards.
draws on a napkin and he sells it for 500,000. That's just he's an artist.
But he's also on
I
the
wish
board.
that sounds a great job.
He's also on the board of
Charisma.
Ukraine's energy sector.
Charisma.
Something.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Does he even go to the meeting?
No.
I'm not sure, but in this
Is he
video
in the
you'll
meeting,
see
like,
you'll see him hanging out with George Soros. You know George Soros?
yeah.
That's George Soros right there.
Well,
Okay. So but yeah, they're in the
He's a
same
billionaire.
car.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that there's Biggie Smalls in this.
That looks like the Hamptons.
Oh yeah, we're just there.
Yeah,
I
was
think you
just
saw
there.
that guy.
I think I saw him.
Anyways,
She looks young. That girl looks young.
all
That
this stuff
was
is
weird.
just him kind of like being a doing whatever he does. What I find interesting is that he likes to film himself doing all these different activities. That's my question. Is it because of his ego? Why is he filming himself doing crack and pointing a gun, while he's doing explicit acts?
Look, I think he's just a messed up guy. Like, he's just a messed up guy, and I don't know why he's still out there going around. Has no one
Yeah.
spoken to him? Like,
Don't you think it's weird that he left his laptop at a repair shop? I've never even met anybody who did that.
I don't know.
I find it. I don't know. I mean, like, people need to repair. It's not the Apple Store. That's what's weird.
Wait, those are children.
Those are children. Yes, on Hunter
Yeah.
Biden. But this,
So what is that?
just the president's son with his friends. Nothing to see here. That's what it says on.
That looks pretty bad. I'd
That
like
looks-
somebody to
yeah.
explain that to me.
Yeah, I need.
Do we know that that's Hunter Biden?
Dude, they're like.
Well, this was leaked off his laptop.
But could this be
his
somebody
iPhone.
else that, and it's all set up?
Well, I mean, here's the deal.
Because his face is kind of hidden there.
You can kind of see his face.
But couldn't they find a guy who looked like him? There's people
But look at his body.
There's people in the conspiracy theory world that say that there's 2 Joe Bidens or 3 Joe Bidens.
True.
And they say, look at this man here. This isn't Joe Biden.
Okay.
Especially in politics.
Exactly. So why couldn't they find a Hunter Biden and maybe fake these pictures or even the videos?
Well, what's interesting, it all came
Who's
out.
that woman up there sitting on the beach?
It all came out in one day. And
Unimportant.
it all came out in one day.
What is that?
That's it's another photo. It's another photo.
What's going on in that picture? Describe it to me. I can't even tell.
I think it's Joe Biden. He's holding some sort of thing that looks like a pole, maybe, and there's a girl that's I don't know if it's underage or what, hanging on to the pole next to Hunter Biden.
Wow.
Look, I'm not alleging anything here because I feel like you guys are pushing back a little bit.
Well, of course, we're pushing back. These are huge allegations.
Innocent until proven guilty. If you gave me evidence, I mean, hey, look.
I'm just reporting on what is being pushed out there. I'm not saying.
But when you say pushed out there, it's being pushed out there on a subreddit and in Twitter. It's not,
But if it came out on something else, would that make it more legitimate?
Definitely.
Like if it came out on like
100%.
CNN?
Because when somebody reports something, they're saying that we believe this to be true, and there's huge standards
And
before
they're
they can
liable.
report something. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
liable.
But sometimes the news takes time, and sometimes
Right.
at the same time, like
sometimes they're very quick. You're right. When it fits there.
But not just that, but the legacy media won't report on certain topics.
But who at the legacy media is saying that they can't report on Hunter Biden?
Has Fox News reported on this?
Well,
that's
okay,
a good
just to
question.
give you an idea, the New York Post did a story on the Hunter Biden laptop leak that came out earlier this year.
That's that we know.
And Twitter banned
them
it.
down.
Twitter banned it. Everyone didn't want it to be seen. What's going on here is like, how do you get all these photos, all these different things, all at the same time, coming from one source? And I mean, look, there might be a bunch of fake news propaganda, whatever, sandwiched in there, but you kind of have to like examine it and maybe even like bring it up and acknowledge it,
Yeah.
that it's out there.
But they're also liable if they're wrong about Hunter Biden. If the media publishes something saying, "Oh, look, this is him smoking crack with prostitutes," if it's not true, if these are doctored or whatever it is, they can get sued for a lot of money, bro. Because that's super damaging to somebody's.
I mean, it's defamation. Right?
Yeah. So, but look, I mean, I definitely have more questions after seeing this.
I have a lot of questions. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think it scares me that the White House won't even address it. Maybe they're just not trying not to give this any credibility by talking about it. They're platforming it. Maybe that's what they don't want to
They
do.
just don't want to give any attention at all.
Yeah.
Well, these are the things that are going on Twitter.
I'll be honest with you. I don't believe this pedo Peter thing.
The pedo Peter thing. I mean,
That
it's
seems
weird.
like a meme.
It does,
than
but
anything.
Where does Peter come from?
Yeah, who's Peter?
let's see. Let's just look at these things.
Okay.
Ashley Biden's diary. I remember having with. Can I say that? Do you want to read it, Liam?
No, I mean you can.
I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showers with my dad. Probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to be. Supposed sick to be. I remember the Q-tips. I don't know what that means. I hated getting my ears clean, beating my vagina due to overhearing my parents having sex. What made me so attached? I don't know what the hell that context
Okay,
is.
but anybody could have just written this. This is not a picture from a diary. Even if it was, it could have been somebody who wrote it down on a piece of paper. Like these things have to be. She remembers taking showers with her dad. I mean, I took showers with my dad when I was a kid. That's like a normal thing to do.
I feel like it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, these are all different stories coming out there. Who knows if they're going to be verified or not as true?
I mean, they always.
But you can't deny that, like, you know, these.
Well, he's affectionate. I mean, it's hard to read. I know he's making people uncomfortable. But
what about Epstein's Island and all the things that we've uncovered?
Well, that is true. But just because that's true, look, I had a teacher in grade 6, and she would always come up to us, like, will come up to me at least from behind, and she'd like rub my back, and she'd like rub my shoulders, and she'd be like, "How's it going?" And I'd be like, "It's okay," because like I was kind of struggling with math, and it was really nice, dude. It wasn't like weird. She was older and stuff, but she was like affectionate. I really liked it. So
I mean, but this is different.
Here, they're not really enjoying what's happening to them.
I mean, look at the photos. Look. Does any of this look normal?
Right, but these are all hand-picked, selected, right?
But if it happens on more than one occasion, I mean,
what does? What happens here?
I mean,
like if you had to describe this in the court, what would you say? Look, here's a picture of him, and there. What is he doing?
He's smelling this person's head.
People.
He's like putting his face really close to.
And why are they
someone.
there? What's going on in the scene?
I don't know, Charles. You tell me.
But that's what matters, right? These are all taken out of context. We have no idea who these people are, why they're here, what they were talking about. That makes a huge.
Some of those
difference.
could have been his grandchildren.
I don't know. I mean, like.
I don't know.
You can't deny the fact that this is a little.
No.
I mean, would you guys do this?
I don't know what that is. What is that? Leaning in to speak to someone? I would do that.
This is like more smelling someone's face. I mean, have you seen the videos of these activities occurring?
Yeah, no, I've seen the videos are bad. The videos are bad.
The videos are bad.
You got
yeah.
Look, I haven't seen those.
The videos are bad. But I think that, old people, it's like different. I don't know.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is there a valid reason for this to be trending on Twitter right now or not? Do you guys just see everything as fake when you see it?
I don't think it's fake. I just want more. I want us to talk about it more. I'm not willing to immediately be like, oh my God, that means Biden's a pedophile.
But no one is saying that. I'm just saying this is what
that.
But this is what I'm just showing you guys. And like, it seems like you're pushing back on me as if I'm the guy carrying you guys and saying, this is what actually happened, rather than examining this and looking at it and seeing what it is.
But part of examining it is like asking questions and being like, where did this come from? And how is this thing? And how do we know it's not this? And that's what we're doing. We're talking about it. A lot of people would look at this and be like, oh, get that out of my face. Where did you get this? Twitter. Get this away from me. Wouldn't even give it a chance.
Yeah.
So this is from a verified user. Unconfirmed reports from 4chan users of which allegedly cracked Hunter Biden's phone and found that he allegedly saved his father at POTUS as pedo Peter. I just entered the term in Google search. The search result is very suspicious. More big tech censorship. What
is it? Why don't we try it? Why don't we Google pedo Peter right now?
Pedo Peter. It looks like these results are changing quickly.
Oh,
check the source. Are they trusted on this topic? Come back later. Other sources might have information on this topic. So Snopes, routers, all these things are getting ready to like say this is like fake, fact check, whatever,
Right. I've never seen this message.
Point Cheyenne.
I've never seen this message. Have you ever seen this message?
I've never seen that. No, that's why that's crazy.
Here we are. I would put a news story at the beginning of this song, but
I don't know. I'm just clicking whatever.
Pedo Peter, you rank pretty high on the pedometer, Joe.
So people are making
I am the
music
pedo
about this.
beater, pretty
Doesn't
sick
have
young
any
son calls
views.
Pedo Peter. Well, looks like
Anyways,
you got a
this is trash.
It could be the people trying to hide it, trying to legitimize it by posting ridiculous videos like that.
I don't know. You think so?
Well, I mean, dude, if I see this, I'm like, oh, this is a joke. This is a big joke. Look at this. It's a big joke.
Tyson James, Pedo Peter. It seems like this guy just released a song called Pedo Peter 2 hours ago. Who gives a fuck about this guy? He's trying to capitalize on it.
This guy has
And
nothing
fuck
to do
me
with
for
it.
saying
Good
his
for
name.
him. He's quick.
He's quick. He's
Yeah,
very
That's
quick.
what you got to do.
Yeah. Nice on the
Okay,
ball.
do we trust this? I'm gonna just see whatever we got
Hey,
on
let's
this,
see what we-
because
let's
the
see what we
Daily
find.
Caller is the Daily Caller is something you know. Right?
Never heard of it.
I've heard of the Daily Caller.
I heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the poor man's Daily Wire.
Yeah, exactly.
Pedo Pete, massive 4chan hack of Hunter Biden's explicit texts, images, videos rocks the internet. Okay, I feel like Liam's good at reading the headlines. Why don't you read it?
Here, turn it over here.
Footage and because you're more
Footage and screenshots started circulating online Saturday night that are reportedly from Hunter Biden's iCloud account. 4chan users claimed they hacked the first son's personal iCloud account, the Washington Examiner reported. Although the source of the material has not yet been verified, social media users have spread the explicit content warning across a variety of social media platforms. Several videos show Biden walking along a beach and consuming drugs in the shower with a woman he refers to as her future baby daddy. Should I keep reading, Chad?
Keep reading.
What are you doing over there? Another video purports to show Biden arguing with a prostitute about the amount of crack he had in his possession.
Oh, I can show you that.
That video only shows Biden's face for a moment, although his pose with a cigarette matches previous media. In another, Biden appears to slide naked into a pool and swim up to a woman filming him. Hunter's father, President Joe Biden, also reportedly loves to skinny dip. Author Ronald Kessler wrote in 2014, according to the Daily News. Okay, so Joe Biden loves to skinny dip, according to this book.
Interesting.
Kessler wrote, being assigned to Joe Biden's detail is considered the second worst assignments to the Secret Service. The leak also included a series of text messages alleging from Biden, which suggests that he and his father own a number of guns that he stole upwards of $100,000 from his ex-wife.
Oh my God.
Is that Biden or Breitbart
Probably
News?
Hunter.
Well,
I think Hunter.
Okay.
Okay, here's
Biden also has
Brett
that.
Bart. This is what we want to hear now.
Breitbart News reporter Wendell Hasibo shared a screenshot of what he claimed was a contact in Hunter Biden's phone listed as, quote, Pedo Peter. Another user alleged that the contact card belonged to President Joe Biden due to his previous use of the pseudonym Peter Henderson. And the Daily Caller reports Hunter Biden told brother's widow to get HIV screening during the affair. So Hunter Biden slept with his brother's wife. You know that, right?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had an affair with her.
Oh my God.
Is there anything else at the bottom there?
I kind of want to like go into the
Peter thing is out in the open. Joe is about to say he's back on the powder and throw.
This is some guy said it on.
Oh, okay.
But if we click here, which is Wendell Husabo shared, let's see what the source is.
Well,
What it
Breitbart News is somewhat reliable.
shared. Okay, so who is Pedo Peter in Hunter Biden's contact list? This is some verified thing.
Yeah.
But anyone could go ahead and write Pedo Peter on their phone and put it there.
Screenshot it.
Screenshot it.
Correct.
Right.
Unless this is like
That
a
doesn't
real
look like a contact.
iCloud. Yeah. I don't know where like we could verify, just because it comes out, it doesn't mean it's true.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the other people's response to this is.
But they usually don't acknowledge any of this stuff.
I think that's the best way
Yeah.
because it
is.
delegitimizes it.
So of all the other, I guess, journalists that you know, right?
Yeah.
Who really follows this?
Is that Joe Biden? Maybe?
That's supposed to be Joe Biden, and it looks like he's with a little girl.
Dude,
God.
give me a break.
I don't know.
That doesn't even
That
look
does-
like him.
No, it doesn't look like him.
This
and-
looks like old Biden, though.
That-
looks
yeah,
like
It does look like old Biden.
the old Biden, not the new Biden.
What? I don't.
I no. Look, listen. I don't follow any journalists that. I'll probably like I listen to everybody who's out there. If you go on Infowars.com, they're probably talking about this. If you go on, maybe Ben Shapiro would talk. The right is obviously going to talk about this. You go on, whatever right wing thing, you're going to see it. But if you're going to go to someone more moderate, like who's an example of someone who's more moderate?
Fox News.
Fox News. They might even talk about this. We don't know
Fox News is moderate.
because this came out yet. Actually,
I don't know, I'm
let's
asking.
check it out. No, they're not moderate. They're not
Okay.
moderate. But let's check out Fox News because that is legitimate. TV for the United States. Damage control. Oh, fuck off with your ass.
Dude, they've got news for you, buddy. You
Fuck
need
off with
ads.
me.
Well, how do you tell the?
God damn it. But anyways, I follow Reddit. Sometimes, you know, I go on different subreddits, and this is actually from a comedian, Tim Dillon's subreddit.
One of the.
Do it. So, you know, when you go on Tim Dillon,
Yeah, no,
Tim Dillon subreddit, it's people who are interested in Tim Dillon. And given Tim Dillon's, you know, the type of comedy that he does, they put, you know, this type of stuff because Tim Dillon talks about like kind of like, you know, like, oh, you know, California's a dump and Hunter Biden does crap. Like, he would talk about something like that. So his fan base would be attracted to some sort of story like this. But it seems here we don't see anything related to it. All we see is Twitter talking about it. It's trending on Twitter. The only place you would see it is from a source that, you know, you could discredit, such as 4chan or, you know, like Tim Dillon subreddit.
Why does everybody flock to 4chan? You know, I feel like all these far
Isn't
right
4
theories are 4chan.
Isn't 4chan known for being like anti?
QAnon.
QAnon,
Well,
Pizzagate.
It's like the
all these
worst of the worst
flat
people.
earthers. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It doesn't give it a lot of credibility. I'm not saying it disproves it. That's not at all what I'm saying.
But let me ask you this, Charles.
That's kind of rough.
The whatever Pete, the pedo Pete, we can admit that we don't know if that's a real screenshot, but these videos that
Yeah,
we
so
see,
far it's not true.
but these videos that we see that have never been on the internet before, can we admit those are real?
Absolutely.
Because we
I
know
mean, well,
who he is.
yeah, they look real. I'd be willing to consider the possibility that they are real.
Yeah.
We don't know the context of them.
But in any case, I mean, listen, real or not real, the videos are real. The pedo Pete part, it's a little iffy. A lot of people talk about, you know, the whole Jeffrey Epstein island, and a lot of people say that, you know, I mean, on the right, I guess you could say that, you know, these elites are some sort of pedophiles, whatever. Areas where, you know, it's kind of, you know, they build up a case because of these different things. Because a lot of people are asking, why is Ghislaine Maxwell going to jail for 20 years? But none of the people who have been on the island or have interacted with Jeffrey, why hasn't there been a list? That's an interesting ask.
I mean, realistically, I don't know. I don't really follow the case. She's getting 20 years, which I'm glad she's getting something, you know. I'm not saying it's enough. It's not. She should get a life sentence. I don't know why she isn't. But do we have a list of people that were there that partook in these activities?
Well, the thing is, lists come from websites that are discredited and
Dude,
that no one really, you know.
In court, none of that's gonna hold up.
100%. You need concrete evidence.
Right.
You need
So that's what we
evidence
need.
that's you know, hands up. But how do you verify concrete evidence?
Well, does that mean that the mainstream media denies that somebody like Bill Clinton went there?
Well, I mean, apparently on these supposed lists, he has been there.
Because Joe Rogan talks about it like it's fact.
Well, because there's a flight log list, you know, that routers or whatever you want to say still denies it probably, but you know, it's been out there. It's been a long time. Guys like Alex Jones from InfoWars or whatever have talked about, you know, Epstein before it became a thing, like 4 or 5 years ago. Does that make him, you know, correct in everything he says? No, obviously not. But it does goes to show that stories that are unpopular, that go against what the, like, you know, the establishment legacy, whatever you want to say, the popular mainstream source of news isn't reporting on, like, you know, these stories, they kind of delve in, and then they take time to mold into concrete stories. They were talking about the Wuhan lab of virology, the lab leak being fake news. And then 6 months later, it's agreed upon, it's real. But where did that come from? Where did those things come from? Little cesspools like 4chan or Breitbart or whatever you want to call it. So to deny, to close your eyes, to say, no, this isn't real, to whatever, you know, that's kind of the reason or the attitude. Why don't we don't see it on the main level, you know? Because listen, I'm not saying like, oh, this is real. And I'm not saying, you know, I think it's fucking, these are the facts. He's pedo Pete. He's a pedophile. But I could look at, you know, some of the arguments and say, okay, like I see a visual representation of him coming very close to a minor. But does that mean anything beyond that? Do we have anything beyond that? Is there a
Did he have family visiting that day?
do they exactly?
Yeah.
Do they have anything
Something
like that?
stupid like that. You
But
never
then,
know.
but then you hear about
But, like,
people
probably
who
not.
you could say probably not, but then you hear about people like Hillary Clinton and the people who've been involved with them, and then you hear about the list of people who have died that have been connected to the Clinton family, and you think, oh, maybe there's a reason why these things are not out, to the public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gatekeepers in the media, maybe.
Gatekeepers, I don't know, whatever you want to call
I don't know. We'll never know. That's the reality.
It's true.
A lot of this we'll never know.
it. We
Sure.
will never know. Yeah.
And you know what? Let's hope for the best.
But yeah, it's I didn't expect this to take such a serious turn, obviously, because it's kind of funny. Some of the things you see of Hunter Biden, the videos. Like there's I want to show you. There's a confirmation here. It's
just an ugly person.
There's like, so obviously he has a thing with pedophiles. Not pedophiles. He has a thing with prostitutes and crack and stuff. So here's a video of him arguing with a hooker over crack. This is the one.
No. Oh, well, you know what that is.
That seems like it's something white. Oh, it froze.
This guy's weird.
You don't hear it too
This guy's
loud.
weird, man.
But why is he filming this? That's my question.
He seems to film a lot.
I know, for a guy.
Well, he could be high on crack.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
There's a chance of it. I mean, it's right in front of him.
There's a pretty big chance, I think.
This is a funny one. Hunter Biden living his best life when Hunter Biden sees what she sees. Oh man. But anyways, it seems like you guys want to move on from this topic. There's a huge dead air of I guess. It doesn't seem like
I think
Why are you upset?
I think the conclusion
We're like bad guests.
No. I think the conclusion of this is that we got to kind of wait for more evidence.
I agree. I
There's,
think
there's nothing else to
it was
make of it.
released yesterday, right?
Yeah, and it's now on you Reddit, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no wind to the story yet. It just came out yesterday.
Yep.
And we'll see upon further examination. But anyways, there's been other news going on, a little less extreme, but we see that Elon Musk, recently he didn't purchase Twitter. He didn't go into that because of the bot situation, which we covered on your show earlier. But more salacious, I guess you could say, is the fact that he apparently has two twins, which he's just confirmed with a SpaceX employee. So what do you think about that?
So it's pretty funny because he actually on Twitter, in the weeks coming up to this, but right before it came out, he was talking about how the biggest problem that civilization is facing is a declining birth rate, and people aren't having enough kids and all this, and he's going on and on. He was this big tangent. And so now people find out that, hey, actually he has twins with this secretary. He's been, sleeping with a lot of people. He has a lot of kids. Like, I don't even know how many kids he has. 10 kids?
He has 10 kids?
10 kids. He 10x'd his bloodline.
So that's Bearman Tings.
Bearman Tings.
That's Bearman Tings.
It's crazy.
This bro just slinging it out anywhere you can put it.
Yeah. And so it was pretty funny because there's this guy, Michael Burry, who was he was known for shorting the housing market.
Yeah.
And so they both have a pretty big rivalry. And so he made a really funny comment and kind of blew up. And he said, well, a declining birth rate in civilization isn't an excuse for you to sleep with your
employees.
And so that kind of went viral because doesn't really speak much, So for him to come out and lash out was pretty funny.
The other funny thing is he pulled out of the Twitter deal, and people are saying, "Oh, looks like this is the only thing he's ever pulled out of."
Oh my god!
I don't know. It's just funny that this guy. I feel like it's this thing with very, very, very people who are very high up They want to just spread their seed like Genghis Khan, Mao Zedong. These people, they want to have like a million children. They're like I don't need to use protection or pull out or whatever. Like you're being blessed by me, you know.
Well, the reason people stop having kids is because they usually can't afford it, and they don't have the resources to raise that many kids. But when you have $1 billion,
Also, dogs. People are having dogs now.
Yeah.
If you look at the amount of families that have dogs versus children, like the graphs invert.
That's
true.
crazy.
It's like a perfect, yeah. People-
cheaper.
It's cheaper. It's less work. I mean, it's still a lot of work.
it dies in 10
Shout
years.
out Ellie. It dies in 10 years. I
Hey,
mean, that's not a good thing, but you
Well,
know,
no, I
We
mean,
don't
it
talk
does.
about that part. We don't
no,
talk about
well,
that part.
the maturity date.
No, but
definitely
a
counts.
kid, you got to raise it till it's 20.
Yeah, and like the price of schooling is just going up and up, and like it's crazy. People having dogs, and like they're adorable. Everybody loves dogs. Who
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
like
true.
dogs? So many people don't like babies,
Dogs don't become teenagers.
and I kind of understand that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I don't like babies, but I understand people that don't like them.
Yeah, well, that's because you could buy a house for $7,000 in the 1950s. That's why the baby boom happened, And I mean, obviously, everything's inflating or whatever.
I
it's
disagree
relative.
with that argument. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, I
Go for
disagree
it.
with that argument.
My argument or your argument?
The argument that, well, when you were born, a house costed $15,000, and today that house is worth $1 million. And, it's outpaced inflation. Obviously, it's growing like 5 to 10% every
Yeah.
year. Maybe not 10, let's say 5. But think about what that house was worth from a real estate perspective back in the day. Like cities were just starting, sort of thing. You were buying this tiny piece of this little house that had been built by this crew of workers right after the Second World War in some new like village that was called West Island, and there was no houses there, and the highway to get there was like pretty shitty, and it was far, and
Well, there's less people too. There's less demand.
there's less demand. Yeah, it's like this. Montreal's not a big booming city. I mean, it sort of was at the time, but nothing compared to what
Yeah,
cities are
nothing
today. The money that goes through cities today.
I've never even thought about that. That's true.
So
Yeah.
what is that house worth really? Well, people weren't. Yeah, it's worth more a lot today, but it's like, why don't you go buy a house in a little place that's middle of dollars for it?
Look, I kind of agree with that argument, but if you go to somewhere that's like considered kind of nowhere, like Kitchener, Ontario, you're still going to find a lot of expensive things.
Kitchener,
that people
Ontario is not kind of nowhere though.
Okay, well,
Kitchener, Ontario is
so
really expensive.
so
Yeah.
what about 3 hours out of Toronto? Is that middle of nowhere, like farmlands? What like,
Ish.
ish?
Yeah. So go find me a little house in a farmland like that in some new development in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Martintown's booming. Shout out Martintown.
Well, okay,
It
I'll
is.
give you an
It
example
is.
based
It
off
actually
something I know.
is.
Yeah.
Vancouver's not a great example.
How about Cornwall, Ontario, where my farm is?
Yeah.
How much
that's
do you think an
example.
apartment in Cornwall, Ontario is?
Well,
Per
Probably
month?
like $500 a month.
Yeah, probably.
let's
maybe
look it up.
less,
Let's
yeah.
look it up. Apartment.
Yeah, no, but
Cornwall.
$500-600. I think you're fine.
But yeah, Ontario is kind of like a little town in Ontario, in between Montreal and Toronto-ish.
It's like
kinda.
it's a
It's-
tiny-
You go there, it's all distribution centers, and it's like there's a part that's in full house things there.
Well, it's
you
right
know,
on the border also.
close to the border.
It's like 2 minutes. It's in the.
So do you
2
want
minutes. It's on the
Kijiji's
border.
not a good place because that's going to give
Well,
us
anyway,
noise.
regardless, it's
Regardless, yes.
that's the point I'm trying to make.
it's definitely fine.
Now people want to buy a house. These kids, they grew up in Montreal, they grew up in Miami, they grew up in Toronto, and now they want to go out and buy a house for $30,000. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they want it to be in pace with inflation. They want it to be $200,000. Like, no, it's not the same place anymore.
I see your point. I see your point, but at the same time, you can't deny the fact that there's little apartments that are like the size of this room that are going up for $500,000
Because of the location, though. Because of the location.
Because of okay. So like I think you're 50-50. I'm 50-50 rather
Yeah.
on this. I think yes, you're right. Like obviously there's a lot less risk because really that's what it is, right? You're saying like, oh, you were in the middle of a small town, like you didn't know that
Right.
anything was gonna change. It's really that's risk, right? Because you're
Right.
assuming hopefully everything's gonna pick up. Whereas now you buy in Montreal, well, Montreal's probably still gonna boom. It's a lot
Right.
more secure. So
Right.
there's less risk. So yes, that's true. But at the same time, if you're looking back at like the start of the 1950s, 1960s, a single income household was like common, right?
Mhm.
Like women stayed at home, they raised their kids. Today it's two income households, and you're kind of still struggling. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
And if you don't believe me, it's like that's fine. We can just
Right.
look at the math and
No,
and
I agree. It depends on the job.
inflation.
It
It
depends
has,
on the job as
unfortunately.
well. But no, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with the houses is it's like the argument is like in 1970 you paid $50,000 for a brand new house.
Right.
Today, buying a house costs $500,000. So that has not stayed in pace with inflation, which is 2% a year.
Right.
It's like, okay, do you want in pace with inflation every year?
Right.
What would that do for our economy? You want to buy a house and for it to get really expensive. That
Yeah.
should be the goal.
Well, I see your point in the sense that, like, we're at a point where, compared to the 50s, we have a lot more immigrants, we have a lot more people, and it seems like every 10 years they take this like bicycle, wheel, and they're pumping up. So what does that mean? The government gets bigger, the administration gets bigger, the cities get bigger, there's more people, you're living on top of each other. So it brings up, I don't know, does that bring up the value to you, or do you think that, what does that do to a place?
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes the economy stronger. There's more consumers. My dad gave me this example once of he was like this little town that opened a mattress store, and the guy started selling mattresses. And so one person in the town came to buy a mattress from this guy and lay down on the bed, and they were like, "Holy shit, this mattress is amazing!" It was a little farm town, and people had been making their mattresses out of straw and everything. And he was like touching, and the guy's like, "Yeah, it's got memory foam, it's got this, it's got that, that. So the farmer goes, "All right, well, I'll take it." So he buys a mattress, puts it on his roof, drives it home. Then he goes to town, he starts telling everybody about this. And so then the mattress guy's waiting outside, and next thing he knows, he's got 3 customers, 5, 10, 15. The store's full. Next day, open the doors. There's a lineup out the door. Everybody in town is coming to buy a mattress. Store's full. 2 weeks later, the guy's counting his cash. And that's Friday. It's supposed to be a busy day, and nobody's coming. Nobody's there. And the next day, it's a big Saturday weekend sale. He opens it, and nobody's there. The store's empty. And he's saying to himself, what the heck happened? So he goes around and he realizes he sold a mattress to every person in the town. Mattresses are good for 8 years. He's done. He's not going to sell another mattress for 8 years. So what do you have to do? You have to bring in immigrants, right? Because more people have to buy mattresses. And that's sort of how the economy grows. Because at some point, it's like you need more people, right? If those arrows on the board are going to keep going up.
Let me ask you a question. Is he going to increase the price of the mattresses for the immigrants, or is it going to be the same?
Well, what's going to happen is there's going to be more and more people at this guy's store because so many immigrants are coming. And then he's going to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to open another store if I want to keep up with all this business. I have too many. I can't even answer the phones. I'm ignoring the phones. So he's going to open another store, and he's going to start to get sloppy. And somebody else is going to say, hey, you know what? That mattress store is always full. Why don't we open a mattress store? And then they're going to open one, maybe one of the immigrants. And then that's how the economy is going to grow from there. I mean, that's very basic, but that's what it is. But yeah, at some point you need to bring in immigrants to sort of, keep this economy growing.
Yeah.
And, during the pandemic, you saw we stopped making things, and you saw what that did. It's still feeling the effects.
Yeah.
All that to say, though, like, yeah, Elon Musk can't afford 10 children. That's what we're just.
Let me tell my mattress story one more time.
Okay. Yeah. It was good. The first time was enough.
Shut the hell up. But yeah, so Elon Musk had these children. I mean, maybe he's just a sex addict too. I mean, we don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, he's different,
Well, I would think all the women who are sleeping with him are crossing their fingers for a child. I mean, that means financial freedom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Where they alleged he
got hot. Yeah.
He had sex, and then he put the hot sauce on the condom. It's a bullshit story, but
okay. Oh, was it?
I don't think it's true. It sounds like a bullshit.
Was it on Twitter and 4chan?
I don't know. It was on Instagram.
It was on Tim Dillon's subreddit.
It was on the Tim.
I'm totally
Listen,
kidding.
you guys wouldn't have heard this story if I didn't tell you about it.
I think you should.
Well, I mean,
and you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about right now.
No, I'm totally kidding. I was just fucking.
I know, it was a nice jab at my ego. But anyways, so that's the children about depopulation. We're not going to be able to sustain everything that's going on. There's people. The truth is, people are having less children because they're getting lazy. Okay, they don't want to take care of these kids. They want to take care of their mental health. They want to, how are you gonna get someone like that to raise a baby without that baby growing up to be a loser, Rick?
No, that's a very valid
I don't
point.
disagree. I think more than that, right? Social
Yeah.
media it's the me show.
It's about you.
It's about me, posting
Yeah.
about me, and my birthday. The same crying, pooping baby, and they're thinking to themselves, you know what I mean? How is this?
What's in it for me?
What's in it for me? I get with my baby,
Mm.
but other than that, what are my choices? Buying baby formula or going to Ibiza? That's not a very hard decision for most people. So I think that's what this is it's people they care too much about themselves. And before there was this duty, it's like that's what you do. You have children, you raise a family, you go to church, you do work hard.
That's really true.
And everybody kind of accepted that, and they were like, that's how they were raised, and that was tradition. That's what you
Those are
did.
values.
And
yeah.
today people are like throwing everything out in the kitchen sink. Get that shit out of here. We're repaving this whole society. All your stuff, notions from the past, everything you learned, humanity, get that out of here. We don't care about that. We have no respect for you. That's what the young generation is saying, and they want to restart it all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're gonna see we're gonna see what it's like. But by the way, guys, so far no good. If you look at suicide, if you look at drug use, I mean, I'm not saying that's because of all these traditions that have been eroded, but I mean, it's not looking too good at this point.
Mm-hmm. I think you're completely correct, because what happens is you have a demoralization of a society that doesn't respect these things that we've grown up to, see as, high virtues, And when you get that, then what virtues are left other than yourself and what you want to pursue and the hedonistic nature of your own life,
And what do you get when you pursue hedonism in life, as opposed to like duty and discipline? You know what I mean?
The only thing
what types of people does that turn out?
Well, what you get is a cup that has a hole in it. It's a leaky cup. So you keep trying to fill that cup with water, but it keeps leaking out. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep filling that cup that's going to keep letting it out, and it's endless. You're going to have to pursue it until, the cup, I guess, finally the hole becomes big enough and it just explodes, Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah,
no, I
mean,
like that.
The
I like the analogy.
Yeah.
No, I was picturing it the whole time. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think people. Well, I think the other mistake people make is, and this is something that I had to learn in my life, is when you're sort of like feeling down on yourself and you don't really know what you want to do and you're kind of confused and life is hard. You sort of convince yourself that I can't take anything else. I can't deal with this right now. I can barely deal with my life. I can't put anything on my plate. I just need to lay in bed and watch Netflix. That's all I can handle.
Mm-hmm.
And really what you realize is that's a big mistake, because the way that you're going to get out of the hole is by putting stuff on your plate, being like, you know what, I'm going to go for a walk every day. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to force myself to do it. And then, you know what, I need to get a job because I need to get some more money. I don't have enough money. I need to work, and it needs to be my money, and I don't owe anybody anything. It's going to be mine. Nobody can take it away. And then you get a job, and then you say, you know what, I'd like to start going to the gym because I'd like to look better because I don't really feel good about the way I look. And you decide to go to the gym, and nobody's going to fold your hand to go to the gym. Gym buddies annoying, texting people. That's at the end of the day, you're going to have to be the one who shows up for yourself. And all of these things that you do are really what's going to help you. Now, I say this generally. Some people have, mental conditions that, right. But in a general sense, it's really what you have to do. And I think this society, they're always just choosing the kind of easy, fun way because they've never really had to face any consequences for it. Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
No, it's true. I mean, and that's why you get these demagogues, like, that go on YouTube or Instagram. They preach to you. You get these guys like the Liver King. I don't know if you guys see this. He eats raw testicles and raw liver. Liver King, you've seen this guy? Have you heard about this guy?
Yeah, I have.
He is this guy who takes steroids, obviously.
Show him his body. Look up his body.
Oh, my God. Charles,
he's got a crazy body, Charles.
And he walks around shirtless.
What are
you trying to say, Liam?
I swear to God. He is definitely on steroids. I can tell you that.
Weren't you on his program?
No, I was not on his program.
This is the
my
dude.
god.
That's the liver
Look at his
king.
body.
Look, I'm gonna get the charger and stuff, but riff on this.
This guy is shredded.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah,
not
this guy's
only is he
huge.
huge, he's so
Wow.
lean.
I don't like his beard.
He's so lean.
That's a weird look. Like, look. Imagine how much gets caught in that.
I know,
That's
but it's
about
all
time.
part of his.
Describe to
brand.
the audience what you're seeing.
I
He's
see.
built a brand. Well, yeah.
And
describe
so
him, Charles.
this is sorry.
Describe him.
Massive, like just a massive ripped dude, like
Yeah.
with a huge beard and a backwards hat in every single picture you can find of him. Every single picture without a backwards hat.
It's a brand, Charles. Do you know about brand?
Brands, but the hat is the brand.
His brand, dude. The hat, the beard, the no shirt.
Oh,
Find a
look,
picture with
Do you
him
know
with a
about his
shirt on.
brand, Liam?
Find a
Do you know
picture
what
of
his
him with
whole
a shirt on.
shtick is?
Eat testicles? No, you have to buy his supplements. He's
oh,
like, yeah. No, he's like, I
Oh.
eat testicles every day. But if you don't have time to do that, here's this powder that you can buy, or these pills that you can buy,
Oh, that's terrible.
and it'll do the same thing as the testicles.
Is this proven by
Dude,
anything?
he
or like,
sells. This guy makes $1 million a month. His Amazon stuff. $1 million a month.
He makes.
It's on his. They looked up his Amazon.
Oh
stuff.
my god.
Dude, this guy just bought a jet. This guy has a huge mansion. He's the rest of his life.
And he's
that's
like,
crazy.
let me tell you some of the things he preached. People who don't want to go out for that walk, don't want to take responsibility, they need liver king to grow and improve their lives. So what does he preach to these people? He says, I only sleep on a wooden plank because that's what that
It's not even
our,
true.
our we have to live like our aunt, walk around and no and raw meat. So he's really preaching some crazy.
He but behind it. But that's the thing. People don't want to get. They want to feel. They want to look better. They want to be ripped. They want to have successful business. They want to make passive income, which is quote for work without having to do any work, which is what they think. And so what do? They buy these courses, really easy stuff. Eat these pills and get inject. People want these shots, and they don't exist. They're not there, but people fall for them. Time, which tells you that's human nature.